on 12 News, in the aftermath of the Ebola crisis, the vice president of Liberia comes to Minnesota.
They're looking for equipment. They're looking for supplies.
Then, before you dress your eyes for Halloween, Health Check has a warning. But first, filling the need for youth sports facilities. 6 years later, how one program is having an impact.
So where we had open fields, now we have irrigated play fields.
12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Since 2009, more than $15 million in youth sports grants have been awarded in Hennepin County.
It is popular because building those facilities is expensive. And as a new round of applications start to pour in, Eric Nelson reports the grants are in demand.
Many suburbs across the Northwest Metro are looking for ways to upgrade their sports venues.
We want to keep building up access for young people to athletic facilities.
But coming up with the dough is a challenge, which is why Hennepin County's youth sports grants are so popular.
This is really an attempt to provide more opportunities for young people to do constructive things.
This funding gives cities cash to create their own field of dreams. Plymouth is hoping its grant wishes are granted so the city can build Miracle Field.
And it will have all the bells and whistles of what it would feel like to be playing like at Target Field.
If built, Miracle Field will be an all-access ballpark.
It'll have more of a X-grass or artificial turf on it, and so it's usable by all, whether you're in a wheelchair or you're able-bodied running around the bases.
The capital funds would come courtesy of the Twins ballpark. Trendy Target Field was built using Hennepin County tax money, and that tax created the sports grants.
You know, there are people who didn't like the ballpark and the sales tax, but we came up with this idea, okay, let's provide some options for young people, and that's what this money's doing.
Brooklyn Park is one of the cities that has benefited from the Twins Ballpark Fund. Some of the money was used to build this wheelchair softball facility, which is among the best in the nation.
Where we had a wheelchair softball in a parking lot, now we have a state-of-the-art wheelchair facility.
For Brooklyn Park, the grants have been a sports lottery ticket.
We've been a great benefactor in Brooklyn Park. Because of that, now more kids are participating in recreation sports.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
And Hennepin County will ultimately contribute $75 million for facility funding. There are also smaller grants available for equipment costs.
Liberia's vice president will be making several stops in Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center this week. Joseph Boakai is on a multi-city trip to update Liberian natives in this country about the aftermath of the Ebola crisis at home.
The magnitude of that medical crisis layered on a healthcare system that really struggles just to meet day-to-day needs has left the country's healthcare system really in a crisis condition.
Fire Chief Ken Prilliman has worked through a nonprofit organization to help Liberia rebuild its fire service. But this visit from Liberia's vice president is about rebuilding the country's medical system after the Ebola crisis killed more than 4,800 people. Boakai is here talking to hospitals and medical centers looking for partnerships to help get his country started.
Doctors spending time in Liberia, Liberian doctors spending time here. They're looking for equipment, they're looking for supplies, best practices. We have tentatively secured another ambulance for them.
This will be Boakai's third trip to Minnesota, which has the largest population of Liberians outside of the Republic. Boakai has already met with the CDC on this trip and will also meet with Governor Dayton and local doctors. A town hall meeting is set for Brooklyn Park's Community Activity Center on Friday night.
Robbinsdale School Board members got a snapshot of this year's school population this week. Enrollment in the district is up nearly 3% this year, and that's due mostly to the conveyance of the Fair School to the district this summer. The Robbinsdale district is also becoming more diverse, with students of color now making up 55% of the student population. The process of bringing light rail through the Northwest Metro is kicking into high gear.
A Blue Line extension from Minneapolis to Brooklyn Park would make stops in Golden Valley, Robbinsdale, and Crystal as well come the year 2021. But first, the project needs environmental review. Before Before the light rail blue line can extend into the Northwest Metro, the project is making stops in all 5 cities affected, and the conversation is about environmental impacts.
We'll be talking to the public for these 5 meetings about the potential impacts of things such as noise and vibration, wetlands and floodplains, impacts on historic properties.
In Crystal, where one light rail station would be located, the process of public questions and feedback is underway as environmental studies help determine what impact light rail would have on the area.
We're trying to figure that out. Is it going to be a good thing for Crystal, or is this something that we're more worried about?
Candace Othout is concerned with the alignment of the line and its potential effect on sensitive wetland areas.
It does impact a lot of wetlands, especially in the Shokaki Park area and down by Grimes Pond.
Before construction can begin in 2018, a final environmental impact statement is due in 2016.
Environmental review informs the design informs the review. They go hand in hand, and you have to develop them together.
From concerns about what will be done to mitigate wetland impacts, as well as noise and vibration, there are plenty of questions remaining.
I have to admit, I'm very technically minded, and I've worked on environmental issues for many years, but it's no solid, well, this is the specification, this is what we're doing to fix it. And that worries me in a project this big and this expensive.
Another light rail open house will be held tonight. That's Tuesday evening at Hennepin Technical College in Brooklyn Park and on Wednesday at Robbinsdale Middle School.
Congressman Eric Paulsen says a new law designed to crack down on sex trafficking was the result of collaboration with experts and lawmakers from both parties. At Wayzata High School, Paulsen told seniors studying public policy it's the way laws should be made. He said it includes a provision to help make sure minors sold for sex aren't prosecuted as defendants. Instead, they should be treated as victims. Paulsen says he took the idea to the House Majority Leader and it was quickly enacted into law.
We all got in a room and we started doing like a best practices analysis. We had a group of Stanford students come in and do a best practices analysis of what other states had done. And that's how the process is supposed to work. And literally within a couple months we had legislation moving forward. The president signed it this summer. And it literally will save lives. I wish we did that more on other issues.
And on the issue of who should become the next House Speaker, Paulsen says he supports Republican Paul Ryan of Wisconsin. Ryan has not said whether he would take the job. Well, coming up, it's part of the fun of Halloween, but why eye doctors are concerned.
And a little bit later in sports, a local boys soccer team is ready to take a run at a section title.
But first, your AccuWeather forecast. With Halloween right around the corner, much of the appeal for adults centers on costumes that are fun and creative.
But in today's Health Check report, Delane Cleveland finds that one Halloween accessory could be bad for your eyes.
Zombies! Saturday night in downtown Minneapolis. Thousands took to the streets for the annual zombie pub crawl.
I've been going to zombie pub crawl for, I don't know, the last 6 years.
It's a festive, albeit drunken occasion where people take painstaking efforts to mimic the undead.
It was pretty fun. It took me like 2 hours to do all my makeup.
But makeup isn't the only thing that makes a good zombie.
These eyes right here are zombie.
Plenty of people used decorative contact lenses to complete the look.
I ordered them online. It was like $20.
It's a cheap decoration that makes a zombie costume stand out. However,
it's blurry and itchy.
When you ask some of the zombies about how the contacts feel,
it definitely hurt like a mother when I first started. It took me 20 minutes to put these in because I've never worn contacts before.
their answers don't quite have the same level of enthusiasm.
Well, at first I had 2 in, but it was bothering my eye, but now I'm just kind of going for I'm turning into a zombie.
The irritation is one of the reasons why Dr. Tina McCarty of the Eye Care Center in Maple Grove has a word of warning for the walking dead out there.
Proper contact lens not only has to fit appropriately, but the material really has to match the patient's chemistry. And if that material isn't breathable or if it's suffocating the eye, then that's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to lead to short wear time, redness, it's blurred vision, you name it.
In other words, you're putting your sight at risk by wearing contacts not fitted properly by an optometrist. For some people, that's warning enough.
I don't want to deal deal with the pain associated with it.
And for others,
Eye doctors might say, you know, you probably shouldn't do that because it could mess up your vision.
But who cares?
It's okay.
It is a great time.
in Minneapolis, Dwayne Cleveland, 12 News.
To be safe, it is recommended an optometrist order decorative contact lenses. I don't even know what to say after that piece, really, honestly. Coming up, we will hear from candidates running for Wayzata School Board.
But first in sports, the Totino Grace boys soccer team hopes to get back to the state tournament. Jay Wilcox is in next.
The Totino Grace boys soccer team has made 7 state tournament appearances in the 2000s. The Eagles are gearing up to try to qualify again this week. The Totino Grace Eagles are on a good roll heading into their Section 5A semifinal against De La Salle. The Eagles have won 6 straight, including 2 playoff wins.
We have not allowed a lot of goals in our last 6 games, so I think defensively we're getting organized. And then the other side of it is we're finding that moment or those few moments when we're either creating a chance and finishing it or just eking one in.
Grace's home field and usual practice location are natural grass fields. Since they'll be on turf from here on out, they practiced on the turf Monday at Farview Park in Minneapolis.
And we take this opportunity very seriously, and we're really grateful for the opportunity because we know that a lot of teams are done with their season, and for us to come out and play on this beautiful turf field on a day like this is really something special.
Now that we're in sections, we're more honed in, more focused, and the turf really helps because from now on we're playing on turf on every game, and this is just getting us more prepared.
The Eagles are 11-4-2 overall and fared quite well in the mostly Class AA Northwest Suburban Conference, tying for 4th place. Facing those teams is surely a help to be ready for the playoffs.
I think it's the hardest one out of all the conferences. I think they're a great test, and to come out 4th in our conference, to tie with other teams is great. Great confidence builder, and winning 4 in a row before going into sections is also great too.
We've been playing schools that are a lot bigger than us, sometimes a lot more physical, but that really gets us ready because we want to be able to match any team that we play any day.
2 more wins would put the Eagles into the state tournament, but Section 5A is far from easy to conquer. The Eagles play De La Salle at 5 o'clock Wednesday in the Section 5A semifinals. The Islanders beat Grace in the section final last season. The other semifinal is Breck against Benilde St. Margaret's at 7 o'clock. Both of those games are at Benilde. The final is Friday at St. Louis Park. Well, team play in section girls tennis finished up last week. Singles and doubles play is now complete in several sections too. In Minneapolis, Armstrong's Nicole Snezko lost to Delano's Ginger Valentine in the 5AA singles final. Snezko, though, still advances to state as the section runner-up. In the Section 5AA doubles final, the Wayzata team of Samantha Stevenson and Haley Bowden beat Delano's Katie Schlief and Kitty Bonin 6-4, 6-1. Stevenson and Bowden and Armstrong Snezko will play their first state tournament matches October 29th at the Baseline Tennis Center at the University of Minnesota. The Cooper and Armstrong football teams have had strong seasons. On this week's Sports Jam show here on Channel 12, we profile a standout from each team who will team up next year. Here's a bit of that story. 2 Robbinsdale District football stars will be teammates with the Gophers next year.
Touchdown, Philip Howard.
Cooper quarterback and defensive back number 7, Philip Howard, is one of the state's fastest players and an elusive double threat on offense. Armstrong's number 44, Thomas Barber, is a physical, hard-hitting linebacker who occasionally doubles as a tough-to-tackle running back. Both teams went 6-2 in the regular season. After a long string of losing teams, it's been a special season for Barber and his Falcons teammates.
Yeah, it is kind of special knowing that we helped push the winning record for the Falcons in a while, and it makes us feel good. I mean, we've been talking about this since we were like 5th, 6th grade, and we're just really looking forward to this.
Cooper's had a better track record in recent seasons, but this was one of the Hawks' best teams too. The wins are great, but Howard will remember his teammates most of all.
These guys like to have fun. They're a hard-working group, like I said, and we just like to have fun with each other. A lot of us hang out together, so I will always remember that because, like, past years, most of us, like, we had split groups that we hung out with, but we still all came up together and hung out and stuff like that. But I think we're closer this year.
You can see the full Barber-Howard story and much more on Sports Jam. It's on each Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. And we'll have highlights of Cooper's playoff clash with Park Center Wednesday starting at 4 o'clock. So down now to the real crunch time for all these teams.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay.
Bet.
Now to Local Vote 2015 and the candidates running for a position on the Wayzata School Board.
6 candidates are running for 4 available seats on the board. Today we'll hear from David Craig and incumbent Cheryl Paulsen.
I'm Cheryl Paulsen, candidate for Wayzata School Board. I'm currently serving my first term on the Wayzata School Board and hold the office of Board Clerk. I'm fiscally responsible, a staunch advocate for excellence in curriculum and instruction, and I'm committed to keeping our district world class. In addition to serving on the school board, I am also a proud Wayzata district parent. My husband Andy and I have 3 children. Nathan, a 2012 Wayzata graduate, currently attends the University of Minnesota-Morris, and Alec and Hannah attend Wayzata High School. As a parent and public servant, I am passionate about high-quality public education and hope to continue serving, working so that each and every learner can reach their highest potential. Please vote Cheryl Paulsen on November 3rd.
Hi, my name is David Craig. I'm running for the Wayzata School District Board. If your family is like my family, you appreciate the excellence of the Wayzata School District. While our school district does have an excellent reputation, I believe we can make it better. We can incorporate some of the programs that are being offered by neighboring school districts. These programs will make our children more competitive for the 21st century. People in the Wayzata School District are very smart, not only the children, but the parents. I would solicit and welcome your ideas that could make our school district better. If you have any questions about what I would do as a school board member, please contact me. If you share my philosophy for the Wayzata School District, I would appreciate your support on November 3rd. Thank you.
On Wednesday, 2 more Wayzata School Board candidates. We'll be right back. They are certainly cute and ready for a good home. This is Adopt a Shelter Pet Month, and the Animal Humane Society in Golden Valley currently has more than 60 dogs of all breeds ready for adoption. And they don't mind if you come down and visit more than once.
It's important to know that you could visit the shelter multiple times before you find the right pet, and that's okay. It's a huge decision, it's a long-term commitment, so visiting multiple times and finding the right pet is going to be worth it in the long run.
Something else to consider, animals at the Humane Society shelter have been vetted for their behavior and for their health. They even come with post-adoption support. And they make it so hard to say no.
Yes, keep coming back to find yours.
That's right. That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner is coming up next.